Hello, Policia. All right, I got the tune downloaded. I was playing hell getting it to idle good. This tune was really far off. It was running fat. So 5.3 turbo 400. Got a 600 lift cam in it. Nice little street build, long bed. I'll get out and do a little walk around with it and stuff. So we got it in speed density right now. Oh dang, things rough. We're gonna go dial in some VE tables. So we'll see how far off it really is. I got a little bass tune. I always start off with a bass tune, like a template, you know, that's something close. We're gonna go this way and see how she does. Okay. I don't know about that one. I think we're stuck in first. Let me try to figure out the trans. All right, I just drove it back to him. He's like, just give it the beans. It'll shift. So I was like, okay. So I guess the vacuum modulator needs to be adjusted. All right, man, I trust you. So let's do what he wants, but if it ain't shifting, I'll have to return it. We'll have to mess with this vacuum modulator, but really don't want to do that right now. It's nice and warm. It's probably going to be hot down there. It feels good outside. But he said this motor's like a 12.5 to 1 compression motor, so it's got some pep to it. Got blinkers and stuff. Oh yeah. Still gonna mess with the idle coming down too fast, so seems to like 800 RPM. I might try to go lower a little bit with it, but I think 800 might be just like the perfect setting for it, just the way this thing's set up. Let's see what it does. It shifted. Okay. I trust him. Super weird. I've never had one do that. Hope the wind noise ain't too bad. Trying out this new mic setup, so. All right, let's go dial this thing in. All right, I just got off the highway. I think this thing's gonna do better dialing in these VE tables with just these side roads and stuff where there's no traffic. It just kind of screams on the highway. I mean, it's like 3,000 RPM going 70, so I'm just gonna do it like this. I think it'll be way better if I just go slow with it, and then, because most of the time I'll get on the highway and just kind of like drop it down a gear and then like just go up and down on the, man, that window is rattling. Go up and down on the VE table, just try to fill in as much as I can. It's got some lean spots in it and stuff, but like nothing absolutely crazy. They had it tuned for 25-pound injectors, and I'm pretty sure these are not 25-pound injectors. I'm pretty sure they're like mid-30s or something, so see if it'll shift out of first. I'm going like 40. There we go. I'm gonna force it into second. Oh man. I would fix that immediately if this was my truck. That would aggravate me so bad. But I think he's gonna fix it. So he just got it going not too long ago, so he's still messing with it. So real nice guy. But yeah, let's just go. I'm gonna go drive this thing around for about 30 minutes or so. Then I'll adjust the VE table and I'll show you what we come up with. Yeah, this long shifting in first gear I don't like it at all. second. It just sticks in second too until you kind of just barely get on it, and it'll just eventually shift. There it goes. It went to third. Kind of weird. Kind of makes tuning a little difficult. I think I'd put a wood grain steering wheel on it. I like the wood grain on these. So, pretty comfortable truck though, even for being lowered. I think he's going to C-notch the frame in the rear. We'll get some gas though. He said the gas gauge is a little so I trust him. Hey, it didn't die, so that's good. I mean, I'm just barely on it, and it's just like, oh, it'll shift at like 3,000 RPM. Just barely on it. Definitely needs an adjustment on the vacuum modulator. Alright, there we go. Put it in third. Let's check the speedometer. I don't know if it's correct or not. I got a speedometer app. Allow. Okay, whatever. Yeah, 55. Yeah, oh yeah, it's dead nuts on. Look at that. Alright, so that's the true speed. Good deal. And 55 miles an hour, we got 2,000 RPM. Oh yeah. Disconnect. We got about a 20-minute log right here. So copy that. So you can tell it was lean right here, 2,000 and 3,200. So we're going to copy this whole table, which I already did. And then now these have a split VE table, all right? So they got a primary and a secondary. You need to match them, all right? So I'm going to do it by half on this one. And then the rest of this stuff, if I just copy and paste it, it's going to have these little spikes. So I know it's lean coming up right here. I'm going to have to richen this up a little bit more over here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just go 5% on it. Even though probably this doesn't matter, especially over here, because this is going to be decel right here. But just for my own peace of mind, I'm just going to turn it up a little bit more. That one's probably okay. Right there. Interpolate this one right here. A little dip. And then go up 5% right there. So you can see how much smoother it is. We got a little hump right there, but again, that's like decel at 4,000 RPM. That's not really a big deal. So what I'm going to do now, here, I'll just leave it maximum. You can't really see it. I'm going to go ahead and just smooth the whole table over. That actually looks pretty good. Boom, got rid of that little bitty peak right there, which again, smoothness is key with these. So to copy over, you got a primary and a secondary. It goes 20, 40, 60, 80, all the way to 100, okay? So it goes in 20s. So copy this whole 20 row right here, go to your secondary. Control V, Control C, Control V. That's going to be your friend. Control C, Control V. Got 30. I'm going to go to 40. Just keep going all the way right here. It should match all of these. I've seen a lot of these guys get confused with why does it have a primary and a secondary VE. You know what? That's just the way it is. I don't know. But I know how to adjust them. And I know they need to match. So 80, almost done. 90, 90, 100. There you go. So it should match. You can actually look at the thing on here and it should almost represent what you actually have on that primary one too. See, it has that kind of same thing. So I couldn't tell you what the PCM looks for as far as the secondary and the primary. I don't know. But I know if these don't match right here, your adjustments, like if you just do the primary, I know your adjustments don't mean shit. So I know they need a match. So we'll probably do one more log in speed density right here. I'm going to lower the idle grams per second right here a little bit more because it was trying to take some out. And then I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna mess with the rest of it when I put it back in blended, so I know like all my stuff matters and I'm not fighting a fueling issue. It idles pretty good right now, so, but again, I'm gonna leave it like it is. I know his fan schedule was like really low, so I'm gonna copy John Garcia's fan schedule over. And yes, I do like to have another tune in the background that I know is good and that I know works. So this one is this PCM that I'm tuning is off of a 99 Camaro, and I know that those are split VE tables, like they have a primary and a secondary. So another one I tuned was John Garcia's, and his was actually pretty close. I just copied and pasted his VE over, and you can see I still made adjustments. So but yeah, let's flash this, log it again. Ugh. Got her filled with gas, got her flashed, lowered the idle down to 750. It likes it. Or no, I'm sorry, 725. That's what I lowered it down to. Oh yeah, she likes it. So, oh, there we go, okay. Got a little whiny power steering pump out here. I didn't notice that earlier. It's all right. Oh yeah, this table's looking a lot better already. So let's go rinse and repeat. Oh. Then we'll throw it back on MAF. And then MAF is fairly straightforward to tune, not too shabby. it takes forever to shift. Unless it has a vacuum leak, which it doesn't really show on here. I'm gonna go check for that. I'm gonna go check for a vacuum leak. Yeah, I'm gonna go check for a vacuum leak before I like really start wasting a ton of time doing this, because I'm about 20 minutes, 30 minutes into it right now. So let me do that. This truck is another really good example of things that match. Like this converter matches real good with this cam. It drives really good, even with the turbo 400 transmission. It drives really good, just other than the fact that it's got a vacuum modulator issue with the shifting. But as far as like it just taking off and all that stuff, like it does really well. So it doesn't try to surge or anything like that driving on the road. So just again, you know, just make sure everything matches when you do a cam swap. Man, I'm getting blown up today. I mean, you can tell it like it wants to go. So we're gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna go pull over by Jonah's shop and see if he'll let me borrow a little wrench so I can check to see if this thing's got a vacuum leak or not. You know, every time I tune one of these, like older vehicles with an LS, you know, like I don't know. I love older vehicles like to death. I really do. Like, there's nothing like driving them. They drive different. They rattle like the windows. They just make noises. They have smells. There's nothing like the interior of an older car that's just kind of been driven every once in a while, you know. Same thing with my Biscayne, you know, like it leaks oil and stuff, and you smell that, and I don't know, it's just different, you know. It's not the cookie cutter daily driver regular traffic type deal, you know. It's just, it's different, you know. And I know this thing back in the day was just your regular traffic, you know. And I'm kind of wondering if today's vehicles will end up the same way as like this will, you know. Like, you know, you got electric cars and stuff coming out now, will say like my wife's ST, will that end up being like as rare as a Typhoon, or as, you know, as rare as this, you know, seeing this every day? Like, I haven't seen another one on the road all day today, so, and I'm not saying they're out there. I mean, these things they're pretty popular still, but you just don't see them driving around, you know. I know they're out there, but you know, will like the modern Mustang, like that one, I don't know if you can see it, but over there, will that end up being, you know, rare? Yeah, it's just, only time will tell, I guess. You know, I don't think anybody thought that these would be classics. You know, these were just regular cars, you know, back in the 60s and 70s. You know, they're just, don't even lock the door, slam the door, running into stuff, just trucks, cars, you know, vehicles. And I got a guy right there in a Civic just staring at it like his jaw dropped, you know. It's just cool stuff, man. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to have the most immaculate paint job. This thing's body's great shape. If the paint's rough, but who cares? It's a cool truck. I mean, this guy's gonna daily drive this thing more than likely, so. All right, I'm pulling up the Jonah shop, and then let's see if we can get a wrench to borrow to take off this engine cover. All right, I feel pretty comfortable with where it's at. I didn't find any vacuum leaks. It's fine. So I'm gonna put it back in, I'm gonna put it on MAF only now. So you just turn your dynamic airflow all the way down to 100 RPM or so. So it immediately goes in and reads off the MAF only, ignores the map sensor to an extent. We're gonna go ahead and flash it. Boom. And let's go dial in this MAF table. I haven't touched the MAF table. It's the one I found on here, so I'm assuming it's gonna be super rich. I'm just gonna turn the key off, turn it on. Okay, it fired right up, so that's good. Man, that window was rattly. Let's see what she looks like. Should go in the closed loop here. See what the trims are. And we are lean. Starting off really, really lean. So I'm gonna add some fuel to this. I'm gonna add about 15%, and then we'll go from there. It looks like he was trying to fight a lean issue with it, or a rich issue, and he just took out a bunch of fuel, but he didn't know what the injector data was. So yeah, 20%. I'm gonna add about 20% fuel across the board. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna add it across the board. So I'll take the camera down. I'll show you what it was doing. Sorry for the glare, but you can see it was already just really lean, just sitting there for that couple seconds. So I'm gonna go in here and just go to the airflow table, general, go to your airflow versus frequency, and I'm just gonna add 20% to it, just across the board. It's better to be rich than to be starting off lean. So we're gonna do that. Save it. Key on. Make sure it's disconnected. Yep. And then flash it. Go from there. It already started a lot easier. So hopefully we're rich enough to be safe and we can go drive this thing. If not, I'm gonna add some more. And it's already a little lean, but I'm gonna let it kind of normalize here. It probably is that lean, to be honest with you, like on that MAF scale, because it's, oh yeah, I probably need to add more fuel to it. It's nice and snappy. And see what it does at idle. I'm gonna let it sit here and log for a second. This is at idle. About 7 or 8%. I might just add 5 across the board, and then yeah, I'm gonna add about 5. I'm gonna shut it off and add about 5. Oh yeah, we'll just do this view right here. You get to look at the back of my head now instead of the front. Still gonna fix that. That is terrible. Cool thing about a non-electronic transmission, you can just start it in gear. So I think that's the next thing I'm gonna do. It's in MAF only right now, so let's go cruise it a little bit. Then we'll mess with that idle, and I'll show you what I do with idle stuff. Other than that, this thing runs really good. Like, it's pretty smooth. I checked for vacuum leaks. I didn't find a vacuum leak. So we're just gonna go cruise it and math only. Just deal with the transmission. And then we got to deal with the idle issue with it where it just dies. So I think I've got a fix for that. So probably add a little timing down low and then mess with how fast the IAC closes. Because I know damn well if I let off of it too hard, it's going to try to die. So I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more. I'll show you what I do with that. And then we should be done. Man, this thing sounds good. Well, I found the vacuum leak. The modulator was disconnected. So it'll probably shift now. Yeah. So I am going to have to check all these adjustments again and see what she does. I knew it had a vacuum leak. I knew something was up because you can look at the idle desired airflow, and it was reading like 4 to 5 grams a second, okay? A typical LS cammed setup, just a basic cam, so something in the 220 to 228 duration range is gonna want the lowest 7 grams a second, and the highest I've seen is about 12. This is a Gen 3 setup. And this thing was doing 5, like it was a stock cam. And I'm like, nah, something's going on with it. It ain't, no, something's up. So, yeah, vacuum leak. So, another fun fact of the day. You can look for vacuum leaks that way. And sometimes it just takes you a little bit to figure out where it is. So yeah, unplugging it's gonna make a huge vacuum leak. Let's see where the idle's at now. And it doesn't really show up on the map sensor either. See, right now it's showing it wants 7.5, 8 grams a second. So yeah, that was it. Definitely. Good deal. Still need to fix that. Let me adjust that while I'm sitting here. All right. Ooh, man, that glare is bad, isn't it? Well, if you can see it, decay throttle follower and decay throttle follower. Okay, so both park, neutral, and gear. The higher the number, the faster it's going to come down. So I cut it down by 20%, and then I added some airflow on the follower itself. So like in the 1 to 3% TPS range. So we'll see what it does now. If not, I'm going to add a bunch of timing when it comes down, and it should catch it, because timing will act faster than an IAC. But we're going to find out what it does here. Let's fire it up. Fires up good. Don't have a problem with that anymore. Just the IAC or something is making it just die. Let's see what she do. Man, that sun is bad. Ugh. Fixed. Probably went a little too much. Oh yeah. It's okay, the throttle hang, so we're gonna I'm gonna lessen it just a little bit. I think it'll be perfect. So just some IAC settings, nothing crazy. Let's go continue dialing in this math. That fixed it. Yep. In a second. Third. Yeah, that fixed it. Good deal. Let's get these math tables dialed in. They're still a little rich. I overshot them on the, he's gonna sit there, good deal. I overshot them by about 15%, so they're still about 5% rich right now. So just it's better to take away fuel and work your way down than it is to try to add a bunch of fuel, and then it's just better. So I usually leave them about 2% rich-ish. So if it has a spike of 5% here and there, that's not a big deal. What you don't want is 20, 25, 30, 50%. You don't want that. That's way too much. You're fouling stuff out. Once that exhaust hits that O2 sensor, it's already too rich and it's already trying to foul it out. Same thing with your spark plugs and all that stuff. So don't do that. Just adjust it accordingly. So this is the whole purpose of tuning it. So this thing feels 100 times better than what I started off with. So let me jump on the highway here and I'll continue recording. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. Whoa. Almost died. I'm still gonna mess with it, it looks like. It's always eventful with me. Oh, power steering line came off. Luckily I carry a Leatherman, so let's get this fixed up, cleaned up, filled up, all that jazz, and get back on the road. All right, got her fixed up, topped off. Let's start it up and see if it'll bust off. Should be all right. I tightened it pretty good. Dried it pretty good, so it's gonna take a minute to get these air bubbles out. All right, so that was pretty eventful, huh? That was fun. Oh, man. We got power steering now. All I came in was for a piece of fish. What was that? You get that on these big jobs. Anyway, we're back in blended. So looking good. Let's go work on this idle. Well, pretty sure the power steering line came off again. I'm gonna go hit the shop. He works right down the road right here. Let's see if we can fix it. Damn, that sucks. Don't have to mess with the idle in his parking lot or something. But yeah, let me just head over there. It's like a quarter mile down the road. All right, it's always eventful with me. All right, so it popped off coming out of the gas station again. I just drove down the road. He works here at this tree place. We fixed it real quick, filled it up, topped it off, whatever, and then cleaned it up. So checked a couple more things on it, and we're sitting there letting the idle, letting the air bubbles work out of it, and noticed a little steam coming out of the radiator cap, and I was like, them fans ain't kicking on. That's weird. So I looked over and it's like 235 degrees. I was like, oh, dang. Shut it off. And I guess some oil got in the fan relay connector. So started wiggling it and it worked, cleaned it out. It's good to go. So it's at a crisp 199 right now. So I think we're good. So I'm almost done with it. I was messing with some idle stuff back there. It seemed like it was really good. But we're gonna make a lot of throttle hit with it. I don't have a wideband on it. There's no port, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave it a little rich. You can kind of judge off of like what the last MAF reading is, and you can see what the cylinder air mass is. It's not an exact science, but it'll get you safe. You know, I kind of know what these want as far as cylinder air mass and stuff and spark. It's not going to hurt anything. We're going to go down the road right here and give it a little hit, see what it does, look at the log, and then just get it close enough and we'll call it good. I usually don't do this kind of stuff without a wideband, but it's like, it runs good and it's seriously just a cruiser for him, so not really concerned too much. Oh man. He said it shifted early at wide open throttle, so we'll see what it does. I'm not going to sit here and shift this thing on the column. This thing is kind of wonky anyway. It's like real stiff, so I'm not even going to try it. I'm really just going to nail it from like a slow roll and see what it shifts out of first. And just see what it does. Okay, let's see here. We got like 10 miles an hour here. Let's see. It feels like it's second gear. It probably is. Let's see if I can. See, I can't even. There we go. That is first, I think. Oh yeah, it'll shift early, so it's probably why he had it unplugged. I think he just needs to adjust that vacuum modulator. In second, that's for sure. That was only 5,000 RPM. Yeah, she got some long legs, and she's putting out some power. It's pretty good. Well, I'm gonna pull over up here. We'll drop it down in first and just do a first gear pull and like just shift it up to third. And it really, this thing would really benefit from, I hate to say it, a 4L60 or an 80E. Like it would, God, it would dramatically improve the bottom end of this thing. Let's see, this thing's hard. Okay, there we go. Second, let's see, or first. Let's see, let's do first. Oh, there we go. It shifts at 5. It just needs a vacuum modulator. Like even I was in first the whole time and it just shifted at 5,000 RPM. So it just needs a modular or a vacuum modulator thing. So let me go up here. I'm gonna get off the on ramp and I'm gonna try to goose it, see if it dies, and it should be good to go. It doesn't feel like it's gonna die, so it's got some good power though. It runs really good. It just, he needs to fix that vacuum modulator to be proper. I hope the audio is coming through real good. I got this little, they call it a dead cat. I'm not really too familiar with filming and stuff, so I'm learning as I go. Man, I like this truck. Other than the window rattles like crazy. Put some AC in it. And it changes. I'd probably change. I would honestly change the transmission. I'd put a 60E in it or something, just drive it. I wouldn't care. Something that's like modern with an old body is just cool to me, you know. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty at all. I mean, this thing gets tons of looks already. So I'm gonna go pull over up here. It didn't seem like it died. I wanted to die right there. So here, let's Oh no, I don't think it's gonna die. I think it's good. Oh yeah, it's real good. You just gotta mess with those IAC settings on these, like the delay and decay and all that stuff, so. Oh yeah, I think it's good. It's real good. He's got stuff flying around on the bed. Ugh, ugh. Oh yeah. This thing's awesome. I like this thing. Let's see what it does. Nothing. We're good. Sweet. I'm gonna man, let me park it. I gotta check that log. I'm gonna make sure it's okay on the cylinder air mass and stuff. And then let's go from there. It didn't look like it had any knock or anything, and the injector duty cycle was maxed out, so it's putting out some power, that's for sure. Now, let's turn this off. You can hear me. Okay, let's see what it did. 94% duty cycle. 100% throttle. We get a cylinder air mass of 1. Yeah, it's okay. So that cylinder air mass is really rich. It is stupid rich right now. So I'm gonna lower the MAF frequency on that. That's probably why it's giving a false reading in the horsepower and all that stuff. So let's see. What it wasn't moving. Where the hell did it hit 50 pounds a minute at? Oh, right there. Yeah, it did do 50 pounds a minute. So, and these are stock heads too, so it shouldn't be moving that much cylinder air, like that much air, or like a calculated air. Yeah, dynamic airflow is at like 372 grams a second at wide open throttle at 5 grand. I'm gonna lean it up. I don't recommend doing this stuff, but, and then the MAF frequency is at 9,500, and then running rich is gonna it's gonna skew that, so it's gonna give like kind of like false readings. Again, I know what these things like. I'm just gonna do 5% lean, and it shouldn't affect it that much. But again, I'm just making this thing safe for them. I'm not. Don't do this without a wideband if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, this is a guess, and I think it's gonna like what I'm doing, because this duty cycle's at 96%. There ain't no way in hell that this thing is maxing out 32-pound injectors with just a cam only 5.3. So there's no way in God's green earth it's just doing that. I know it ain't. It's got proper fuel pressure and everything. No, there's no way it's doing that. So let me flash this. We'll go make another little pull, and then we'll check it, and then do a walk around, all that fun jazz, see what it does, and give it back to the customer. All right, let's see. Let's get back on the highway here. Check it out. That's the only thing I changed I just leaned it up a little bit. So remember, the cylinder air mass was like 1.3 to 1.11, and that's way too much for just an NA thing. And again, being rich will do that. It'll just give you a false cylinder air mass, or what it's supposed to be at. So let's see what it does right here. No policia. Okay, so it's at 0.90, and it felt a lot better. I'm gonna leave it right there, because I've seen these things go from, the cylinder air mass will go, I don't know, 0.64 to 0.8 something, like 88-ish. And I'm safe with 9.0. It's not overly rich, and I know it ain't. So we're gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna pull it up here at his place of business. I'm gonna do a walk around with it, and then we're gonna give the keys back to the customer, and we're gonna call that good on this video and this tune. I can't say that I've ever seen a red one before. Pretty cool looking though. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, do all that YouTuber stuff. Catch you guys on the next one.